Okay. And Kumkum Didi, very good to have you with us. And you know, just by, as it turns out, circumstance, yesterday evening, I mean, maybe you not like to remember it too much, but we talked about the auspicious passing away of Rishabh Dev Prabhu. It just
Oh,
automatically, oh, you know how it came up? Because we're reading Bhagavad Gita, a book you may have heard about. And we're reading Bhagavad Gita, and we actually just finished the 17th chapter. So we have maybe 3 more days to go to finish, because we do about 20 verses a day. And we just finished reading the Gita, and we were just like reminding ourselves how important is Bhagavad Gita. Just
yes.
like we can easily take, once we know about it, we can easily take the name for granted. We can easily take prasadam for granted. You know, just like it's automatic. Oh, we have Bhagavad Gita and we're reading Bhagavad Gita. But then that just brought me on to Rishabh Dev Prabhu's passing away, and how Gurudev told to Bhudev, who's like the long time pujari there, and he told Bhudev to go and get the Bhagavad Gita
Yes.
and Charanamrita,
Uh-huh.
Charanamrita, the water that's washed, the charan, the feet
Yes.
of the Lord from the deities. And so he went running off and he got Bhagavad Gita and Charanamrita. And then Gurudev told him to put the Bhagavad Gita on Rishabh Dev Prabhu's chest. This was just, I mean, really, he's about to pass away. It was like clear
Oh,
that he's just about to pass away. And so put the Bhagavad Gita on his chest and his Japamala, means Rishabh Dev Prabhu's Japamala.
yeah.
So then this came up by saying like the importance of the Bhagavad Gita. Out of everything Gurudev could have called for, first of all, he called for a book. And secondly, out of all the books he could call for, then he called for Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
And he actually called for the Bengali Bhagavad Gita. Gurudev knows Bengali, but Bhagavad Gita is Bhagavad Gita. And so Rishabh Dev Prabhu had Bhagavad Gita on his chest and his japa, Charanamrita in his mouth. And he passed away from this world,
Yes.
like
Yes.
so sweetly.
Yes.
And yesterday, a bit too long to, well, not long or not to say here, but we had a bit of a chat. So just remembering moment by moment how this all led up to his passing away. So we had very much heard the glories of Rishabh Dev Prabhu, the glories of Bhagavad Gita, the glories of the holy name. The devotees were not chanting with mridanga and cartels, but softly this Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
And you've heard of all this from Mandakini. So if anybody doesn't know, then Rishabh Dev Prabhu is a husband of Kumkum Devidasi. And he is a special personality. I mean, really his special personality. First of all, so he had cancer, he got cancer, and then he's tolerating for so long. But then he calls to Gurudev and asks Gurudev permission. Can I please come? My wish is to come to Navadip and pass away in your presence in Navadip, to be just, to leave my body like this. And Gurudev, he gave his permission, and gave his permission on the strength of his prayer, because actually some other cases have happened, where the devotees have asked, and Gurudev said, no, you stay where you are. There you have modern facility, and wherever you pass away, this is fine. But it was the prayer, really a prayer. And Gurudev gave permission for him to come, and Gurudev sent me to the airport to collect him. And so we were staying in Dum Dum Park, the temple, Gurudev's first branch of Chaitanya Saraswat Math, as it were, in Dum Dum Park. And then I went, picked him up, and when he came, Kumkum Didi knows very well. Actually, correct me if there's something I say wrong, but when he came, his life expectancy was 2 weeks. The doctors gave him 2 weeks. And so he was coming right at the sort of last part of his life. And he came to Dum Dum Park. And then after quite a while, I don't know the days, I didn't write down day by day by day, but maybe 10 days or almost 2 weeks in Calcutta with Gurudev. He's staying on the same veranda as Gurudev, where we stayed with him. It's a small veranda there.
Mhm.
And then Gurudev, he said, you go to Navadip and I will also come to Navadip.
Mhm.
And so he also sent me to drive him to Navadip, because he knows I can drive very carefully with the bumps and things. Gurudev himself had spondylitis in the back, so any jerking would really cause him pain, and we do not want to give pain to Gurudev, of course. And so Gurudev knows I can drive like very considerately by his grace. And so we went to Navadip, and then Gurudev came a few days later. And now I'm giving the whole story. Maybe we don't want the whole story. Anyway, Gurudev came a few days later, and then long and short, that his life extended more than 2 weeks was one thing. And the second thing, that at the beginning, he's able to come to Gurudev on his veranda.
Mhm.
And he was staying in the Centenary building, which is close to the road there, and Gurudev's house a little bit inside, but he's able to come up and down. And with the help of Mandakini, the devotees, he'd come in the wheelchair, but quite able to come. But then, of course, as the end of his body is coming nearer, then he's not able to come. And then Gurudev would come to him, and daily, and maybe twice a day, because he would come out for a walk in the morning and the afternoon, and he'd come and see Rishabdev Prabhu. And then, anyway, he was, clearly could leave at any moment for a few days
Yes.
when it came to the end. And then I was with Gurudev. I generally would be with him when he'd go for his walk and look around the temple, etc. And the last couple of days, he would come up to be with Rishabdev just for a short time, because Rishabh essentially not able to communicate. Gurudev would be there, and he would be there for just a few minutes and be with him. He'd say something to him. But on this day, then Rishabh was really apparently unconscious, looking from the outside that he's unconscious. But he's there. And Gurudev saw him, standing with him. He was one side of the bed, I was this side, and his head was here. Rishabh's head was here. And he was lying on his back, very peaceful, in fact. And then after a few minutes, and we came away, and just as we're coming to the top of the stairs in that Centenary Hall, because we were upstairs by one floor, then the devotee came running, said, "Oh, Gurudev, come, Rishabh is going to pass away." And then we were just about to go. I mean, we had already left the room and we were about to go down. And the devotee came running. And so we came back to Rishabdev Prabhu, and there, that time is when it kind of became clear, yes, he's about to leave. And that's when Gurudev sent for the Gita and the Charanamrita and put on his chest.
Yes.
But the amazing thing was that he could have passed away any time within basically the last 20, any time for many days, as we can all pass away, but the last 24, 36 hours, 48 hours, obviously very difficult for him. And Gurudev was with him for a few minutes each day at that time, few minutes, not half an hour, little time. And then fulfilling Rishabdev's wish being fulfilled, then in that few minutes, that's when he came to pass away. So all of this and more, of course, there's more to every story. All of this and more was a great wonder and a reminder to us about passing away in this world for the Vaishnavas.
Yeah.
And of course, the glories of special Vaishnavas. And Munindra and Krishna Kanta had heard from Gurudev about Rishabh's passing away. And Munindra told, and this is in our gathering yesterday evening, and he said, and Gurudev told him that we cannot tell who is such a special soul in this world? And he gave the example of Rishabdev Prabhu. So really, these are reminders.
Yeah.
And maybe anybody here who's a nurse, I'm not sure if any of you are nurses, but nurses, I've had a nurse devotee tell that when they go for their nurses training, one of the first things they have to learn is how to quickly clean up the mess when when the patients pass away in the hospital, and put a smile on the face, how to make this face look peaceful after the passing away, because so many of the people that pass away, they are passing away, passing stool and urine, and looking very unhappy. And one of the first things the nurses learn is how to make the patients look, or the deceased, look happy and clean up the mess before they let the family come in the room. And then the family all put in the obituary, passed away peacefully in their sleep, etc.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. So there's quite a difference between the regular passing away and the passing away of the devotees.
Maharaj?
Well, yes, Lalita Kanti Devi Das has joined us, and Jayadev Prabhu Chintamani joined us, Kalachan Prabhu joined us. Jai, and Rukmini Devi Rasi, we knew you were with us, but you were without audio. Now I think you can hear us too. Dandavat to all of you.
Dandavat, Maharaj.
Haribol, Haribol.
Dandavat.
Dandavat. That's a Jayadev Dandavat.
Jayadev Dandavat.
All right. And Lalita Kanti is in Thailand, Chiang Mai Temple, and Kalachan Prabhu in Thailand. Maybe at the Chiang Mai Temple right now, but otherwise in Govinda Farm. Govinda Farm. Well, I was just thinking, Rukmini, are you in a temple? No, you're in your home, maybe.
Unfortunate, Maharaj. No, I'm at my house.
Well, Anandavardhan Prabhu told that in New Zealand, they've just had Rath Yatra, and that there's practically no lockdown, and that the devotees have been on Rath Yatra in New Zealand. That's amazing. So we're very happy to hear this. So even we don't live in a temple, the Rath Yatra, the festivals in the temples, we try to give attention. All right, anyway, I've been chatting a little bit, but first of all, we should give our obeisances to each other, because we've come together, and gradually one or two others have all joined in. So first of all, obeisances to the devotees. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And as always, and our only purpose of existence actually in this life, Jai Srila Gurudev Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Srila Guru Maharaj Srila Bhakti Rakha Sridhar Maharaj ki Jai, and Jai Srila Prabhupada Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai, and Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai, and all our Rupa Nuga Guru Vaga ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. All right, so I can start by asking, is there a question from anybody?
Srila Madhusudan Maharaj, first I want to tell you that Anukula Chandra and Nadia Priya and all the devotees in Kharkov are sending obeisances. Also Maladari Devidasi. And we have 2 pages on Facebook. One is public; anyone can join, but they cannot come into the meeting. It's just the video, the class. And there is a message from Kolkata. There is a person called Gurjit Arora, and he's saying Dandavats from Kolkata. I don't know who he is, but
okay, anyhow, Dandavat Pranam, and yes, it is good to know that others are also with us on the Facebook and other platforms. And 2 Zooms ago, then, as you know, 2 Zooms ago of the broadcast of Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj, then I was on Facebook and not on the Zoom. And then I realized, oh, we're kind of missing, somehow we were missing each other on the Zoom, being able to see each other. So the next one, I went on to Zoom. And, okay, I'll be present on Zoom. And I heard it all, but at that time also, I was walking in the cold outside. So it wasn't with the video, but just like here, we've got the devotees, not always with the video on. But I was also thinking just very recently that this Zoom, you know, before, in the early days of the internet, just to send a picture, a still picture, was, you know, quite a drama. When the the picture would come up line by line on the screen. If you remember those days, if I know you're all young, if any of you are old enough to remember those days, a small picture was a big drama to send. And actually, we've been speaking about Rishabdev Prabhu this morning, the husband of Kumkum Diri. Our very first digital camera in Navadip was a small little lightweight camera donated by Rishabdev Prabhu. And Kumkum probably knows that camera. And it was one of the very first digital cameras on the market. And it took 8 pictures at high resolution, and high resolution was 360 pixels. And it took, I think, 16 pictures at low resolution, which was like, I don't know, 180 pixels or something. And we'd you take your 8 pictures, then you'd come plug it into the computer, and you'd have to wait like 10 or maybe 8 minutes, maybe 1 minute per picture for it to download from the camera onto the computer. Then you'd make the web page and then all this. And this was the time when the Seva Ashram building beside Govinda Kund was being constructed, and Gurudev wanted to see pictures. So it's going back to the early or the mid-90s. So even digital cameras have not been with us very long, at least in India, where we were. Now, how did we get onto this? Oh, okay, and then about how just to have a picture very recently, it was, you know, quite a drama to be able to send around the world, but then that became normal. Then this, that, and the other, and now we have our own, if you like, live television. So really, we must remember Mahaprabhu, God, Krishna has allowed all this. Everything is allowed by the Lord, and so let us use it properly. It's a great opportunity for us now. Okay, so yes, so to all the devotees in Kharkiv, the devotees around the world, Maladhari Didi, wonderful to know that you're with us. You're very fondly remembered, and Gurudev is remembering all of you. And Maladhari Didi, you know how dear you are to Gurudev. Admit it, you can't deny it. And he is also in our Zoom. Maybe he doesn't have a window in our Zoom, but he's seeing what we're saying and doing. Always, it is certain. So may Gurudev give his grace to all of you, Hare Krishna. And today we have a touch of Calcutta, which is surprisingly probably my home city. Out of everywhere we go, when I go to Calcutta, oh, Calcutta, such a wonderful place. I'm at home. It's got life. Calcutta has life. Calcutta is a lively place. All right. So, dear devotees, so this is some obeisances coming from around the world through Praneshri Didi. And any question from anybody or any topic from anybody? Lalita Kanti Didi, can I ask you, actually, Lalita Kanti is very good at preaching. She's a very good preacher. She's a natural devotee. She talks to the heart. She talks to people when she's talking to the public. She's not just like kind of just repeating something and just talking to anybody. She talks to the heart of people. Lalita Kanti Didi.
Yes, Maharaj, Dandavad.
First of all, is there something that you would like to share with us about the key, okay, on any matter? I won't give you any key point. I can ask you a specific question if you like, but is there something you would like to share with us on the theme of the back to basics?
Yes, Maharaj, I just would like to say that I have significant change in my life. I moved out of the temple and I got a job. And I'm working at the school at the moment with little kids. I'm a kindergarten teacher. And I just want to say that all that I was listening to for so many years now, I have to use in a practice. And now everything I hear have more meaning for me because I need it as instructions for my regular life. And as much as possible, I try to cook for my colleagues, and I already feed them like 5 times with some prasadam. And especially there was Gurudev appearance day, and there was tons of gulab jamuns left, like because Akala-chan and Gore, they cooked like, I don't know, 500 pieces. I think it was a half of swimming pool. We like a lot. And I brought them to my colleagues later, and all of them got this mercy. And for me, the most important is to share prasadam with people I know. And yeah, I think this is all I would like to say. But just now I'm on this transition between like stages of my life, and I feel very happy that I still can be in Chiang Mai around the devotees and still can visit them and be involved. Yes.
Okay, yes. And Lalita Kanti also, I mean, we also know it's very difficult to live in the temple all your life, especially for a young lady. I mean, it can be very difficult to live in such an ashram environment. And so Lalita Kanti, she lived there so long and doing so many things, but taking the practical step. And the seva doesn't stop, the seva continues. So with all encouragement to you in a new step in life. I'd heard also, and happily hearing that everything going on nicely. Actually, you're a good example of leading your life outside and also being like the full devotee and participant in the programs and contribution, etc. So you have the support from the devotees, Lalita Kanti Devi.
Yeah, I'm very happy. Thank you for reminding me.
And as well as prasadam, how do you find you can make the children a little bit Krishna conscious as well as prasadam?
I have to travel to my work like 40 minutes on a motorbike, and I always chant the Hare Krishna mantra. And I try to like fulfill myself, like load my battery with the holy name. And then when I start my lessons, I feel like I not like, directly saying about it, but maybe they can feel some energy, like different vibrations from me. I hope so. So now my responsibility is only load my battery, and yeah.
Okay, this is a good example for us all. Charge our battery, load our battery with the holy name and our Krishna consciousness. Then we can share that with others. Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you, Didi. So today I thought that something we can give a little emphasis about faith verses, logic and knowledge and argument, this kind of thing, because not only in the beginning, the middle, the end, everything is based on faith. And so, as we just heard, when we have faith in the holy name, when we have faith in the practice of what we're doing, so that we're chanting, we're hearing, we're remembering, we're glorifying, we're trying to share with others. When we have faith in the process, then that can rub off to others. And our quest for knowledge, the quest to know how big is the universe, how many stars there are, all these things, all these different calculations, then they become very much not only secondary, they become unimportant. As Guru Maharaj points out about the gopis, after all, as we heard last time, Guru Maharaj is focusing entirely on Goloka Vrindavan. He's not talking rarely about, he's hardly ever talking like the grandeur of the Vaikuntha service and the chariots that they have there, and this kind of description. Rather, we're hearing 99% is what is taking place in Goloka Vrindavan. And yes, they do have chariots there. Krishna left Vrindavan on a chariot, oh dear, with Akrura. But he's focusing us in the highest quarter, which is Jnana Shunya Bhakti. It is the all free from the knowledge, the acquisitions, the mental acquisitions of this world, but is all just natural faith, not like an artificial faith, but it's the natural faith of, similarly, of this world, or as an analogy in this world, of the child to his mother, the child to the mother and father. It's a natural, oh yes, they are my mother and father, they're my protectors. They're not looking here, there, and everywhere. They got mother and father. And so the faith aspect is always very important for us. And faith is the basis of our devotional life. Without faith, then basically surrender is lip deep, because if you don't have faith in where you're going, where you're taking shelter, then how can you fully surrender? There's always going to be that part about looking after my own interest, as it were. So from the very beginning, we have to try to make our faith firm and develop that faith throughout our life. And when we've come, as we are doing, we've come to the shelter of the real saints and sadhus, where everybody's trying to put the spotlight, that highlight, to show Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, Prabhupada, Saraswati Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and our line of masters that's come. Essentially, we can say, we can begin from Mahaprabhu. In our relatable age, we can begin from Mahaprabhu, although Mahaprabhu is showing his hereditary, spiritual heredity, maybe that's the word. He's showing his spiritual lineage, but Mahaprabhu is resetting everything for this age, and in a very powerful way. And then we see what Mahaprabhu has given. He's giving us his teaching through Rupa Goswami, through the 6 Goswamis, through Vrindavan Das Thakur. And then especially, because our life is very short, especially we've got Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, where we are getting the whole of Mahaprabhu's Leela from beginning to end, his teaching, his purpose of his appearance in this world, and his whole life and pastimes, not just a calculative thing, but the heart pastimes of Mahaprabhu coming in its mature way through Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Guru Maharaj was asked about the Chaitanya Bhagavat and the Chaitanya Mangal, Also, there are other books which are there describing the pastimes of Mahaprabhu. And Guru Maharaj told, but the unique position of the Chaitanya Charitamrita is that Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he wrote this knowing well what had already been written. So he is giving what has not been mentioned before, and he's giving the whole pastimes of Mahaprabhu, considering what has been written before, and giving the hidden, like we hear, hidden treasure, the hidden treasure of the sweet absolute search for Sri Krishna, and many hidden things that we are to search for. But in a mature way, then Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is giving like the maturity of the presentation of Mahaprabhu's Leela. And therefore, if we read only Chaitanya Charitamrita, we are going to get everything within, everything of substance, the whole like substance of Mahaprabhu's teaching in this one place. And that Chaitanya Charitamrita, which has drawn from so many other scriptures in the references that Mahaprabhu is giving and that others are giving when they're having Harikatha talking, they're explaining something in their own language, in English, no, in Bengali, but as we are doing, they are explaining in their own clearly understandable language, if you like, with each other, and then giving a reference from the high books like Ujjvala Nilamani, Srimad Bhagavatam, and so many other Puranas and places. But those references, they are coming into Chaitanya Charitamrita and being presented to us in a very clear and guarded way. And Guru Maharaj said about Chaitanya Charitamrita that Chaitanya Charitamrita is presenting Krishna consciousness in the highest degree, in a very careful way, so it cannot be misunderstood. And then Guru Maharaj saying, but still, by the nature of this age, there are those who choose to misunderstand. After so much presentation, effort by Krishnadas Kaviraj to make Radha Krishna Leela, to make union in separation, to make these high ideals, the high perfections, highest perfections, to present them in a very guarded and careful way. Still, because of this age, there are some who find the necessity to criticize, to tell, or take them in the wrong way. But Krishnadas Kaviraj also says, may this book be nectar for the devotees, and may the envious and non-devotees not touch this book. Don't touch it. It's not for you. You go and read something else. But here is the Chaitanya Charitamrita. This book is for you, for the devotees. So what has Mahaprabhu given all the way through there? You will see it is based on faith. And he's using logic. He's using his capacity when he was a genius young student and then a genius young professor, etc. He's using all that in order that he's done all the hard work. He knows what's in the scriptures. He can argue with those who are argumentative. But at the end of the day, like with Prakashananda Saraswati Thakur and so many others, it wasn't a debate of logic. It was a debate simply of a transmission of something very wonderful by gaining the faith of others, gaining the faith of Prakashananda Saraswati, that, oh, yeah, here's a wonderful person. What's he got to say? Oh, this is what he's got to say. And not only what he's saying, it's the wish, the heart current coming out of Mahaprabhu that touched Prakashananda Saraswati Thakur, that he became a devotee and all of his thousands of followers became a devotee too. So the personal side, the faith can be kind of sound like a ethereal thing, but the faith of a child to its parents, his or her parents, this kind of thing, from a young age, it is an innate thing. But we have to wake up our innate sleeping self and come to the land of faith. And there's that chapter, isn't it? Planets of Faith. Faith. Our devotion life is built on faith. Ah, Krishna, Krishna. And when our masters see that the devotees are faithful, they have so much to give. But they're not just giving when things are just being misused, falling out of their hands, or somebody's keeping an arm's distance. Well, Gurudev is keeping an arm's distance. It's a natural thing. Somebody's polite with you and coming polite and going, okay, yes. But there's something more than politeness. So I don't know exactly how to stress everything, but I mean, you are all devotees. And so somehow, somewhere, some faith has developed in us that, oh yes, we need to search for what we cannot see. We even have to have faith in God. God exists. We can't touch him or see him. And our logic, hopefully will come to let us understand that there must be a God, there must be a very smart creator to make everything. So step by step by step, we come to see that faith is at the basis, and as Guru Maharaj pointed out, we need to protect that faith and develop that faith. So we are to be faithful servitors, and this is really the quality that our gurus want in us and stress in us. So here we are, we've got lots of books. And why read the books? Why read the books? Because that's been given to us by our masters, that we do read in a measured way. Not that we sit all day studying, but we have our morning breakfast, evening dinner, spiritually wise, with our books, with the books and the program. It's not only the books, with the singing and the reading, because this strengthens our faith. And it has been, and why because our gurus say it's good for us. Then we are reading in a prescribed way, the way we are meant to be reading, and as far as possible with others. And this way, again, it's to protect our faith and to develop our faith. So from the beginning, faith is our necessity, and always it will be there as the very necessity of our soul. So this is why we don't like to hear, we hate to hear kind of mundane calculation about our guru's nature or something. And we are fortunate that in general, we don't have, we Westerners at least don't have the tradition of a family guru. So and then the idea that all the gurus are the same, that just anybody is a guru. And then you find out that, it is just a traditional thing without substance. But the origin of all this is that the guru is the representative of Krishna. That God himself, Krishna himself, is coming through the function of guru. So therefore, when we can come to find not just the family guru idea, but that we can come to find that here we've got somebody who is representing God, that what is he doing? He's teaching us fully about the life of the Lord and our relationship with him and how to join that. Then we can say, here I'm getting the guidance which is being told by Krishna is the function of guru. So however we come to our father and our mother, we don't know in this world, but we come to them and then we are their surrendered babies, children, youth, and hopefully still surrendered when we are youth and grow up. But in our spiritual life, however we've come to our gurus, our guru section, whenever we've come to our guru, how we've come, then that is also only known to Krishna and the past. But then we've come, and then they're always our guru, always our mother, father, and our family. Again, Krishna's with his family and Guru's with his family. So this way, always repeatedly, we are trying to emphasize, please, Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada. This is our immediate shelter and family. We've got three fathers. We've got mother, father, mother, father. Oh, I better be careful in this modern age what we say. But we've got three gurus. I'll stay there. We've got one grandfather guru who is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And in essence, really, all of our gurus are presenting Srila Saraswati Thakur. And this is our land where we are putting our head. We've been born spiritually, and with logic or all other things, just a minimum to understand, yes, okay, this is our lineage. It is very wonderful. And then we try to follow their guidance and share it. Charge our batteries. We need to charge up our batteries, fill up our batteries, and we need to charge the batteries every day. You all have mobile phones and things, so you have to charge the battery every day. So it's not an exact analogy, but still, we need to charge our spiritual batteries every day. We need to charge our physical battery every day by taking food, but we take prasadam. And then when we hear such things as we heard at the beginning about Bhagavad Gita, and how Gurudev is seeing Bhagavad Gita, and so important, then we build, by this we are also building our faith in Bhagavad Gita. We hear from Guru Maharaj about Chaitanya Charitamrita, about the most valuable book ever to see the light of day. Then we are building our faith in Chaitanya Charitamrita. When we hear about the processes, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, then again and again we are hearing. So it's building our faith in order that it's not just, oh, I have faith, but then we are giving our heart to all of these processes and making our life go in that direction and in a harmonious way. And how to be harmonious? Humility, tolerance, giving honor to others. And I told you Gurudev is in one of our Zoom boxes, so I can see him smiling. Oh yes, you mentioned humility, tolerance, and giving honor to others. Yes, Gurudev, I did, Gurudev. And in your name, Gurudev, then has some value. Hare Krishna. Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. Faith and grace. Everyone is family. Hare Krishna. Any question from any quarter? I can read things, but we are here with the devotees. You can also read things. Every day we are reading happily. You know, in Navadip, we had an expression that, you do know this, most of you, every day is a festival. In Sri Chaitanya Sarasat Mat, every day, oh yes, Sri Chaitanya Sarasat Mat, where every day is a festival. Then in smaller writing underneath, for those who participate. So here in Vila Govinda, we are doing the programs. Naturally, every ashram programs are going on, but we had a little adaptation of this. It said, Vila Govinda Seva Ashram, where every day is a festival and where every day is better than every other day. Taking the line of like Srila Saraswati Thakur when he's being asked about which prasad on his plate was the best. And then he said, each one is better than the other. But every day feels like the best day when we're having our morning programs and reading something and hearing something, because don't forget, we can hear. But as we've seen, as we know also, even though, we know English, as most of us know English, which is why we're here in this gathering. But even though we know English, to catch Gurudev's intonation and Guru Maharaj's intonation may take a little practice. So every day seems like the best, and every day we have some part which we think, oh, this is the best. So we've got lots of best things. And by the way, yesterday I asked we're at the evening dinner table after the evening program, and then I told them, oh, anyway, I'm going to go tomorrow, need to be up early for the back to the basics. And Krishna Kanta she said, are you still doing back to the basics? How many? I said, well, I think around 70. Praneshwari, she knows how many. She said, well, I think you need to rename it from back to basics. And I said, no, we're going to stay here. But she said, you should be on to the PhD not back to basics, but anyway, something like PhD back to program or something like this. And then I said, no. Then she said, well, maybe after 70, you should be calling it something else. Then instead of the PhD thing, which we sort of dismissed, no, that's never going to be coming. Then she said, well, maybe now you have to call it. And then what did they come up with? Something about bees, bees tasting the honey. Oh, I have to ask them. It was their last contribution before the evening ended. And then the last one was a bee, something like bees tasting the honey. And then the last BC was be consciously. So it rhymed. I'll have to find the new name.
That can be after the 500th.
The 500. Well, the 500th. You all know we've got to stay with our basics. Absolutely.
Yes. After the 500, we can start part 2 of back to basics.
Maharaj.
Yes, Kumkandiri, please. Yes, I've spoken too much also.
No.
Yes.
Because you're speaking, it was making me think, these classes remind me, there's a saying, all roads lead to Rome.
We're in Italy.
Yes, so you must know this is true. And I learned one time that the reason they say that is because they made those roads so well very long time ago. And the way they made them is they went very deep down in the earth and put gigantic boulders. And then on top of the boulders, they put smaller rocks. And then finally on the very top, there are the pebbles. But it's because of that very strong and very deep foundation that those roads are still present, unshakable. So that's what these classes remind me of.
Okay, the Roman roads, wonderful.
Well,
and now you're reminding me of the construction of a road. You're reminding me of Sripad Bhakti Chandan Parvat Maharaj. And we were, why? Okay, only because of this. I mean, many reasons. We're happy to remember the devotees, number one. But Parvat Maharaj, we're in the car together, and I think I was driving him. He was in the car. We're going Calcutta to Navadip, or Navadip to Calcutta. And they were building the road. They were repairing the road. And in Bengal, that main road, they repair every single year or every 2 years or something. And it's continuously being repaired. And Parvat Maharaj is looking at the road and what is there? And he said, roads have been around since the beginning of cars, and still they can't make the road with a proper foundation. If you make it with a proper foundation, it will last. So this is what you are saying. We need our proper foundation for everything to last.
Yeah.
And happily, I'm reminded of Parvat Maharaj, who is, again, another of the examples of the temporary nature of this world. He's passed away also. Our friends, so many of our friends, senior friends, good friends, passing away from this world. We must always remember to utilize our time, utilize our energy, utilize our facilities, utilize everything nicely. And the foundation, strong foundation, and it's not in the scripture, but it is in Gurudev's. It is in Gurudev's scripture that has come from him. When you are going to launch a rocket to go to a distant place, you have to have a strong launching pad. That is one of his examples. Yes, Prabhu, tell us.
Okay, there you go.
Pandit Maharaj, a question. Well, yeah. This morning, last night I woke up in a panic. I've been reading, I've been doing all this sort of thing, and yet when I was reading this morning, I found that particularly the word was, you're not, your heart isn't open to Krishna, you haven't got that faith. I come back always with, I don't have enough faith. But now it's become, I don't have enough faith, I want to run away, but I don't want to run away because I know Krishna is good for me and I can't run away, I don't want to run, but I am in a panic mode. I don't know, I'm chanting, I'm doing all this, but my karma isn't with faith and love. Well, I'm thinking like, I don't love Krishna in my heart. I don't know how to feel that. So when I'm offering, I'm sort of thinking, I'm offering in a mundane way. I'm doing everything in a mundane way. And I feel it too. It's not just a thought. I feel like I am. What can I do to fix it, you know? I mean, I know my karma's pretty grunty because of the way things go, but...
Continue following the process. We have a lot covering the mirror of our heart. So continue following the process. And, you know, however long we've been a devotee, 2 years, 20 years, 40 years, 100 years, or in the previous ages, you can say thousands of years, how long they lived. However long we've been a devotee, it's natural to feel this way. But if we look back, we can think, oh, yes, something has changed in our aging process in devotional service. So it is actually healthy to think this, because it is also making us aware that we are on a journey. It's not that we suddenly got there, and we are following the process to uncover that dust from our heart. So continue happily, continue chanting happily, continue associating with the devotees, and as far as possible, chanting in association with devotees, Sankirtan. And so continue the process happily. And you will come to notice that, oh yes, okay, something changed in my heart. Now I can't live without doing these things. So
the other thing, I'm sorry.
this is the basis. The process has been given by our masters, and you are doing fine.
I also feel that because I've reached the milestone, it's like, I've only got another 10 years maybe, or even tomorrow maybe, but I haven't really worked on my sadhana, you know, to get me, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but yeah. All I know is I'm in panic mode because I haven't got a lot of time to catch up on fixing up all my camera from
Prabhu, you're going in the right direction. As long as we are moving in the right direction, we don't have to worry. Our body goes, doesn't go, we're going in the right direction.
Yeah,
And we'll
yeah,
be
that's right.
taken along that way. We mustn't think that it's only this lifetime. This is everything. So continue sure and steady. And fixing up sadhana, we're not trying to do rituals, etc. But we are trying to we have to control our mind. And so we do need to try to get up early, give ourselves that hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, or whatever it is. But in the temple, 2 hours, you can say, is the morning program from starting the arati to finishing. But 1 hour is also very good morning program, plus your japa. So according to time, place, and circumstance, it's not a rigid formality thing, but as we get into the routine, we look forward to our worship, we look forward to the reading, to the bhajan, and we've got a whole songbook of bhajans to become familiar with.
Thank you.
And we have our favorites of the moment and discoveries of the moment. And you know, I think last time I read like our discovery. I mean, it's not the first time we've discovered it. It was a rediscovery. And it's that song, K Jabi in the songbook. And the one how the upraised arms of the devotees in Sankirtana, the oars to take the boat across the ocean. I mean, it's a very beautiful, 4 verses and very beautiful. I think I read it to you just a few days ago when we were together, so I won't read it to you again. But we've been singing it almost daily for the last few days because it's so happy and so much hope. But I mean, this is now we are singing, you know, each evening, this song, almost each evening. But then we've got so many songs and they come and flow, they flow. And by the way, there's one song which is not in the index of the songbook. And we came across it by chance in Thailand, in Paramananda Prabhu's place, Govinda Farm. And I've been looking for it and trying to find which song was that wasn't in the songbook. It's like a hidden song. And if anybody knows which one, sorry, the song is in the songbook, but it's not in the index. So now when you go to the index and think, oh, what song, which of the kirtans are we going to sing today? And you look in the index, it's not there. And then one day in Thailand, say, oh, look, this song, why don't we sing this song? And then we realize because it's not in the index. But now, and I don't necessarily have the time to go through the whole songbook one by one to see which one is missing. But there are hidden, literally hidden songs in the songbook.
Is that the other one?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. So good devotees everywhere. Then my obeisances to you. And let faith be the theme, not just for our today, but our faith be the theme of our life. And follow the process, be careful. And I mean, we can just say once, that is the Upadeshamritam, those verses of Upadeshamritam, as are the verses of the Shikshastakam. They need to be in our heart and part of us, because 6 senses to control, 6 things which will destroy our devotional service, 6 things which will give us, assure success of our devotional service. And then next verses also. But this is the very process in order to protect whatever faith we have, develop it, and make our actual activities in the dedicating plane. And not to take anything for granted in devotional life. It has fortunately come to us the opportunity to hear Bhagavad Gita, to hear our gurus, to have their shelter, to take prasadam, to know what prasadam is. Everything, every aspect, not to take it for granted, but to take with heart. Jai Srila Gurudev Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Shila Guru Maharaj, Shila Bhakti Raka Sridhar, Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Shila Prabhupada, Shila Isi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. And Jai Bhagavan, Shila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Bhaga ki Jai. And Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. And our present day Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Acharya Vrinda ki Jai. And all the unlimited devotees who are with us now, who may see, and all the devotees around the world. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Hari Hari Om. Dandavat to you all. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha. Kripa Sindhubhya evacha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo. Vaishnavebhyo. Namo Namaha. Dandavat. Hare Krishna. And wonderful to see you, our New Zealand team, and our newcomers also, Lalita Kanti, coming now and again. Jashomati Devi, Hare Krishna. Very happy to have you with us, Jashomati. How are
Hare
you?
Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Yes, all is good. We are in January.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, it's
here,
January with
everybody.
everybody. We're in winter in Italy. It's January everywhere. All right. Dandavat to you all. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol.
Yes, thank you so much.
Jai Nitai, Jai Nitai.